Yo guys, what is up? I'm Stellsed out today. Felt like it was appropriate. Just a basic drip here. All good, all tasty. If you haven't seen them, the new Stells tie-dye collection, legit. They also have this in pink. They also have a tank top. Yeah, I hope everyone's had I feel like it's been a while, but it hasn't. It's been kind of a crazy week. Couple things on my end. Health update, all good to go. Got my blood panels back. Everything seems all good to go. So happy news there. I got to follow up on a couple other things, but everything seems to be going in the right direction. So we're super stoked about that. But more updates coming that way. One thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of stimulus and intent and modifying workouts. The other thing, though, before I get into that, is I want to talk a little bit about this week. Obviously, we have 4th of July week. We're going to go 7, 8, 9 on Friday, and then a little bit of an abridged schedule on Saturday. I'm just double checking 8, 9, 10. Sunday might be a little funky as well. We just got some people out of town and some wackiness going on, so stay tuned for that. But I will keep you guys updated on what's going on there. But fun little workout on Friday, on the 4th, and then you can go about your 4th of July festivities. One thing is, I had a conversation with a member who brought in some friends, and there were some concerns that it felt like people were looking at them and stuff like that. And it's like, we've always tried to foster an environment that doesn't happen, right? That we are all there to support each other, and that sometimes I feel like those feelings can be internal. I get that way, where I feel like people are judging me or looking at me or something like that. And to be completely honest, in the best possible way, like, people don't care. Like, they care that you're there, but they don't care about your workout. They got their own stuff going on. We just want to all be there and supporting each other. So making sure that we are doing that, like, we're supportive of each other, we engage with each other. That's why we always talk about handing out high fives and, all that kind of good stuff, and continuing on this path of being healthy and building block into what it has become and what it'll continue to be for the future as it evolves. And then the other thing was just, I was thinking about this the other week because I was dealing with some stuff, just some knee issues, and it's just modifying the appropriate. A lot of times I get questions like, is it okay if? Of course, right? And I don't mean to be like flippant about it, like when I'm just like, yeah, do whatever you want. I'm not actually in control of you. It's kind of a joke, but the point I'm trying to get across is, like, have fun, do what you want to do. I'm going to challenge you, right? But if, like, going overhead hurts, like, let's not go overhead. Like, I've always talked about, like, I think there's a huge amount of benefits to doing an overhead squat and a snatch, but not at the, not at the point to where it's causing injury or discomfort. The idea is that we're loading a squat. We want to load a squat. We want to meet the stimulus. We want to meet the standard of the movement, right? And so loading a squat is important. It's like, I'd rather have you load it and do a front squat than struggle, not hit depth, not be able to stand all the way up, and cause injury by doing an overhead squat, right? That juice isn't worth the squeeze. So making sure that we're modifying things appropriately to where we are meeting that stimulus, and that, when the coaches are, and there are days where you could definitely challenge yourself a little bit, but on those days when the coach is like, hey, these should be unbroken, like, you should be cruising, like, you should have no problem picking this up and getting all 40, like on today's workout, that we're taking that advice and we're taking it in and we're listening to it, and then we're adapting it and using it in the workout. Now, you might come to me on a day and be like, Joe, I really want to try this. Great. But know at that point that you're maybe missing the stimulus, but you're missing it purposely. because also the purpose in some of the programming is that like it should be challenging. Some days are heavy, some days are meant to be light. So if you make a day that's supposed to be light heavy and then the next day is heavy, you've now done 2 heavy days, right? Where the idea was Tuesday was supposed to be light and movie and breathy, and then because Wednesday was heavy. But don't get too wrapped up in the RX stuff, where we are foregoing, and I'm blanking on the word right now, but like we're letting, and we're all guilty of it, but we're letting our ego get a little bit involved at the cost of the workout. So now we're making the workout easier or making it worse or missing the idea. We're getting time capped because we could have just, lightened it up and we would have finished the workout, which I'd rather have you do. Or finish it in the appropriate time. The fastest person in the gym is at, 20 minutes. Maybe you finish at 23, that's appropriate. You getting time capped at 28 minutes, you miss the point. Now, it happens, right? You're like, oh, I think I'm good, and then you're not good. But just some thoughts, and, continuing to engage and have fun with the community and make like one of my goals, and I say this to the coaches, that this should be the best hour of your day. One of the best hours of your day. Meaning that you should feel leaving good. And if maybe you're a little beat up one day, and you just, because I do this, I feel a little banged up, and you're like, dude, I'm just, like, for instance, let's say RX is a 50-pound dumbbell, and I'm just not feeling it, but I know I'd feel better if I move. I'm going to grab that 35. And I'm not, like, giving myself a pass in the sense of, like, oh, whatever. I'm just saying, in that moment, I'm like, I just want to move. I just want to get through this. A great example, Sunday. Hamstrings are a little beat up. I was just tired. The prescribed deadlift is 275. I'm not the biggest fan of deadlifts. I don't mind them. I'm not terrible at them. I just, I'm like, meh. I'm this emoji with deadlifts. So I did 185 because I wanted to move. I didn't want to think about the deadlift. I wanted to be able to come in from the run, do the deadlift, do the wall ball, go back out on the run. I don't want to think about like bracing and, all the stuff that would have to go in for me to do a 275 deadlift. Just some thoughts, a little bit of a ramble, but let's have an awesome week. Let's get after it and go into the holiday weekend with some juice, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Deuces.